Parsha begins in Exodus chapter 10, verse 1. In this portion, the plagues against Egypt continue, culminating in the final one, the death of the firstborn. All these plagues, all 10 of them, served a purpose, as is with everything that God does. Nothing happens randomly. There is a purpose for everything. And at least one purpose in the plagues was to show God's complete mastery, control, and dominance of the world that He created. In each of these plagues, we see His mastery in nature, His control over the weather. We see that He has complete control over physical health, over false gods, and even over death. In these plagues, He showed how He discerns between the holy and the profane. And that might be the overriding lesson that we can learn from these. He makes a distinction between the righteous and the wicked. He showed how there are absolute truths. There is an absolute right and an absolute wrong. He did not blur those lines. But today, in our society, we do tend to blur the line. We're hesitant to say this is absolutely right or that is absolutely wrong. We hesitate maybe because we feel like we would be placing judgment. But if we base this on the Torah and say this is wrong, not because I say it's wrong, or this is right, not because I say it's right, but because the Torah says it's right or it's wrong. It is the Torah, God's word, that is making the distinction between the holy and the profane. We see this in the plagues in that He made a very obvious distinction that the plagues would affect the Egyptians, but the children of Israel were spared. For example, the darkness. It only affected the Egyptian homes, not the Hebrew homes. Each plague, there was a distinct difference between the two, between the holy and the profane. We can't afford today to blur the lines. We need to take a stand and say what is right and what is wrong. It won't be popular. It might cause problems for us. But if we follow the Torah with honesty and with true purpose, we can say there is an absolute right, there is an absolute wrong. There is a difference in the holy and the profane. And all we have to do is look at these 10 plagues and see it played out. Thank you for listening to this Parsha moment.